Hello everyone, welcome back. This is my 6 days of 10 days YouTube live, and in today's session I'm going to talk about how to match into competitive specialties for IMG. Now, we're going to cover three essential keys to match in competitive specialties for IMG. Now, please note that, of course, in order to match in competitive specialties, everything is really important, like a letter of recommendations, your ECFMG certifications. Those are the basic ones. But in this video, I'm going to cover the three main keys that if you match to competitive people who match into competitive specialties usually will have these three, right? And that's what we're going to unpack today. Now, before we started, I'm just gonna give you a reminder that I have a gift for you who is hanging out with me today. It's a USCE Essentials guide for IMG. I cover what is USCE, how important USCE. You can read all those. You don't have need me to read everything. I did cover some of the content last week in my USCE Essentials for IMG, but there are a lot of nitty-gritty details like what are the immunizations that usually needed, what are documentations that's needed, cold email template that you can use, documents to prepare, etc. It's all in the guide. It's free. You can just go to the website, my website, and then download it, and it's yours. Now, let's just start with the first key. What's the first key? Obviously, is USMLE score, right? Now, this is based on the data. Look, people who match in competitive specialty like dermatology, diagnostic radiology, general surgery, look at that. All the scores are like very close to 250, even really close to 260. It's amazing. But that's a USMD seniors. It's interesting that in non-US IMG, I'm gonna show it right here, that is actually kind of lower, you see? But they still have a higher score. Now, I did mention that your target score for USMLE Steps to CK in general would be 250 because, again, this is a median, right? So you can be a little bit less or a little bit more, but at least 250. But if you want to match to a competitive specialty, I think you should target yourself a Step to CK of 260 because if you're 260, you're above the median and you're good, right? This is really the feature that people who match to competitive specialty has. Now, another gift for you, just a reminder, I have the USMLE Test Taking Strategies that I made after thousands of hours teaching USMLE. It has helped a lot of people. I did post it in SDN forum back in 2017. And again, it has been quoted by so many people. I figure I'll just make video version of it and update it. It has general approach to USMLE questions, elimination strategies. Then the big one, I would say, is time management strategies. And it's all free. Just go to my website, download it. Well, it's not downloaded, sorry. It's the video is right on my website, and you can learn everything. The whole course is about 2 hours, 20 minutes. If you use it, learn it, apply it, I'm pretty sure your score will improve instantly, right? Now, let's move on to the second key. What do you think the second key is? Kind of obvious as well, actually. It's research, right? All people who match into competitive specialties will have some form of publications. And it is also shown in the data. This is an NRMP. You can just pause and then, well, after it's recorded, you can pause and take a look at it. This is live, so don't pause it right now. You can just read it at the bottom over here. Match non-US IMGs reported considerably greater numbers of research experiences than unmatched non-US IMGs in competitive specialties, dermatology, interventional radiology, orthopedic surgery, vascular surgery, and in radiation oncology. Now, a little bit overview about research for IMG. Okay. Quantity and quality. Quality is still important. It's not like just the amount of the things that you do, but also the quality of the research, basically where you able to publish it. The higher tier you can publish it, of course, the better. But, well, publish something is still better than doing nothing. Now, some people probably ask, like, well, how many publications should I have in order to make me competitive? I would say if you really want to match to a competitive specialty, I would look at least 5 publications. I would say at least 5 publications. It's general. That's the amount of publications somebody have in order to match into a competitive specialty. But again, quality also important. I think if you have even one publications that published in NEGM, I think that's really big. Like program director's eye is going to be, wow, this guy really make a publications in a top tier, reputable, highly reputable journal. That's something, you see. But in general, I would say 5 publications at least, if not more. Now, and note that most people who go into competitive specialties take 1 year dedicated research. So I did mention in my step-by-step journey to become doctor in the US, and also in my video on YouTube about going to US clinical experience after you finish your USMLE Step 2 CK. But if you want to aim for competitive specialty, I would say you replace that step to research. I would recommend that because you really need it. That's the way to get it. Now, once you get into some form of research positions, then you can network inside and then find a US clinical experience because you'll need the letter of recommendations from doing a clinical work as well. But the research is important. It's important. You really need to take. I would say that you really need to take at least 1 year of dedicated research if you really want to go to competitive specialties, because research really show your dedications, your interest in that specific type of field. For example, if you really want to become cardiology and you do research about cardiologists, that really show you a strong interest toward that field, that you really want to become internal medicine and then match to cardiology, and so, and that works with any other specialties. But it takes a lot of effort to build and do research and take in all the datas and do all these things. So it really shows a strong interest for that. Now, I did mention about research positions. But the thing is, it's really hard for IMG to get to a research fellowship position. So the option for IMG that makes sense would be unpaid research opportunity. So you try to network and connect to a mentor, find a mentor that has the same field of interest with you and has some publications before that can help you and mentor you to do research in the field that you want. And that will be an unpaid research opportunity. You just connect with somebody. Research fellowship is going to be very hard for IMG. You want to start at least this. Once you start with this, maybe afterward you can become more competitive to find a research fellowship positions. But at start, it's unpaid research opportunity. It's not impossible. It's very doable. You just need to put some effort to find a mentor. But the issue, I feel the biggest barrier here is money. You see, it's unpaid research opportunity, right? So you have to come to the US and stay in the US without being paid. That would mean what, $2,000 a month times 12. So you need at least that amount of money in the first year. If the second year you still in a situation where you unpaid research opportunity, then you can do the math. See, so the biggest barrier here is the cost. But if you do have the money, then you should be able to do it. All right. Now we move on to the third and last key. It's a short session today. Okay. So the next one is the most important of all. It's more important than number 1, and it's more important than number 2. What would that be? Obviously, it is also quite obvious. It's communication and interpersonal skills. Look, it doesn't matter whether if your score is high or you do a lot of publications. If you're a jerk, no one's gonna hire you. You see, so it's very important to have a great communication, interpersonal skills, and you'll be able to see this. There's a lot of YouTube videos that interview people who match into competitive specialties, and they kind of say it on the fly, like, oh yeah, of course it's important, you have to have communication, interpersonal skills. And then they talk about other things, like how they do the research for a year, how they do the publications, how they start their journey by finding a mentor, etc. it's interesting. Actually, the most important thing of all is this part, the communication interpersonal skills, because this will get you really anywhere, literally anywhere. Even in non-competitive specialty, same thing as when you do US clinical rotations. What's the most important thing of all? Communication interpersonal skills. Like I mentioned that last week. It's just how you communicate to people, how you bring your attitude toward people. If they like you, they enjoy you being around, and all those really, really important. Now, I want to be more specific here. I'm not gonna leave you here saying, okay, you have to have a great communication and personal skills. All right. But not a lot of people really describe what is that, right? It's too abstract. It's not clear what is considered to be a great communication and great interpersonal skills. In this case, in the field of professional work, right? Professional field like doctors. So I'm going to give you a clear framework what it's like to have a great communication interpersonal skills. It comes down to conveying or delivering these two main stereotypes. Okay, it's the brain and the heart. That's it. It's the brain and the heart. Well, what do I mean by that? Let's talk about the brain first. Okay, the brain, or I can also call it the competence, is the way how you deliver yourself as being competent, as being knowledgeable, but also have a great work ethics. Let's give you some more examples. Somebody who has a great competence is trustworthy. When they do the job, you know they get things done. Is reliable, showing people that you are dependable. Is efficient, gets the job done, has high precision and accuracy in their work. So imagine if you do, let's say, the clinical, because I know clinical more. If you are doing US clinical rotations, the way you show that you're competent, people who actually know their patients, right? They know their history, they know what they're talking about, they know the right questions, what to ask. Okay, that makes sense. And if there is any instructions, there's thing needs to be done, they do it efficiently. They get the job done with high precision, high accuracy. So this is how you, and then also when they do a presentation, case presentation of some sort, they're very clear, they're confident, they know what they're talking about. That's the competence part. That's the communication part. Then and it's delivered with both verbal and non-verbal, right? So that's the thing that you want to convey, the message, the framework that you want people to understand, to see you. You want to be seen as somebody who is competent. Now that's the first one. The second one is the heart, the warmth. So you can be very smart and know a lot of stuff, but you can be seen as intimidating, as a jerk. Nobody actually wants to get along with you. You have to get along with. You don't want to be seen that way either. So warm is being friendly, approachable, likable, gentle, compassionate, caring to patients. So this is also another framework message that you want to deliver to other people. So you want to be seen as somebody who has the brain, has the competence to do things right. And you also seen as somebody who is warm, who is friendly, approachable, likable. If you able to deliver these two main key of stereotypes, I would say that person have great communication and interpersonal skills. So that's it, the session for today. It's very short, just the main three key. So first one is you need to have a high USMLE score. Second one is research, right? You need to have research, 5 publications at least, do 1 year at least of dedicated research. For IMG, the options would be to go for an unpaid position initially, and probably you can try to do a research fellowship later. And the third one is great interpersonal communication skills. You want to be seen by somebody who's competent and warm at the same time. All right. So I welcome if you have any questions for today. I'll give a couple minutes here. and see if there is anyone who have any questions. All right. So if you have any questions here, you can put a comment down below, and then I can answer the questions later. And I will see you again tomorrow for the 7-day YouTube live. Tomorrow we are going to cover about the OET and ECFMG 6 pathways. I'll see you again at same time, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. EST. Bye now. Have a good night.